and welcome to another episode of the D-Watch podcast. I am your host, Jurgen Smorgasbord.
And I am Jean with a G, who is also a host. Huzzah!
Of you.
Yeah, what?
We're hosting you, the listener.
That's true. Wow. Smooth.
And, well, I guess we're mostly hosting the podcast.
And that is being delivered to you, the listener.
That's right, baby.
Amazing.
And we have watched the highest and lowest rated episodes of Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3.
That's right. We're really digging through it at this point.
And, why don't we start with our classic intro where you guess which is the highest and lowest rated episode? This was going to be short because you said you had a strong feeling during the start of the second episode.
I do think so far Lower Decks has been easier than some of our previous escapades. So we have Here All Trust Nothing, which is a Deep Space Nine homage. I don't know what you would call it, but it has some references to Deep Space Nine.
Well, it's in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
It's set in Deep Space Nine.
Which is also the name of the station and not just the show, which I knew before today. And secondarily, we have A Mathematically Perfect Redemption, which is about a lot of things that I am loath to remember, but mostly it's about a robot hanging out with birds. And let's put up some immediate, red and green flags, right? Here I'll Trust Nothing, references to previous Star Trek works, has so far worked very well on Lower Decks, and has in particular worked very well for my guesses at which is the highest and which is the lowest rated episode. So green flag there. Red flag for Mathematically Perfect Redemption is it's centered around a single annoying character for, I want to say, 80 to 85% of the runtime, as far as recurring characters on the show goes. It's also very strange in very specific ways.
Mm-hmm.
I also think, if I had to guess, I doubt in animation that is only 20-25 minutes long, I don't think having only one plot is an easy way to get good ratings. I think you can pull it off, and I think it could make for some memorable episodes, but I do think it gets dragged down. Now, I ended up liking that episode more than I thought at the very end, but the journey there was rough. So I'm going to say A Mathematically Perfect Redemption is the lower rated episode, and Here All Trust Nothing is the higher rated episode.
No, I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Are you... No, okay.
There is basically, we're not scoring, obviously, but there is a chance for bonus points in this guessing round.
Oh, okay. Tell me more. I love bonus points.
That's all the information you get.
What the hell?
Well, I will highlight that we watched episodes 6 and 7 of the season.
Really? Okay, because I got the impression that one of these was a two-parter. The second half of a two-parter.
I think it was just picking up the peanut hamper story.
I am going to guess that Mathematically Perfect Redemption is the lowest rated episode of the entire show.
Interesting pitch. I don't have that information on hand. Okay,
that's not the bonus points.
I don't know show-wide ratings at all.
Okay, then I don't think I know the bonus points.
What you were the leap that I think you could have made is that the final episode wasn't in it here today.
Oh yeah, no, I assumed that. I did not get the season finale at all from either of those two.
Which I have now conveyed to you. Would you like to amend your guess?
Are you trying to suggest that Here All Trust Nothing? No, I don't know.
So, your guesses are correct.
Nice.
Here All Trust Nothing is actually tied with the season finale.
Ah.
And I was like, I don't want to watch another season finale. I'm going to break this tie.
So this is a reverse wild card.
Yeah.
Or you wildcarded out something instead of
I don't even know if it's bad. We've just seen every finale, and I think they've all sort of been a bit rougher to podcast because they're finales. So it's we're just tying a lot of strings together from this season.
Also, you ended up putting it in the episode description, but last season we did kind of informally conclude that the season finale got undue racing above the cave episode.
Yeah.
Which we watched afterwards.
Yeah, no, we loved the cave episode.
The cave episode is very good. The abortion part was a bit strange. Or no, wait, I guess it wasn't abortion.
It was just a baby.
I guess it was just a straight up pregnancy. Carried to term within about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, no, like, so I kind of agree. I think, like, my theory that, like, if you're making an animated show, especially in, like, an established universe like this, with, like, a light tone, and you do a season finale that isn't horrible, it will just sort of float upwards in the ratings.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if this wasn't animated, or if it wasn't comedic, I don't think this would happen as much.
Yeah, I did have mixed feelings about doing it because the other highest rated thing was, in fact, also getting a ratings bump, presumably from Deep Space Nine.
That's, yeah. I mean, that's the other pattern, but, like, I feel like you at least also have to do something beyond that. But I might be wrong on that. Can I just ask, how low down was Mathematically Perfect Redemption?
6.9, which is like
Higher than I would give it.
I think we've had 3 6.4s in the final season.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I honestly,
I might be getting turned around.
Okay, so what I will, as a final note on the rating thing on that point, I would not give that episode a 6.9, but it is somewhat complicated by the fact that it has one good bit near the end.
Yeah. So we're coming rapidly to our next step, which is yes knowing this season.
Oh, do I have to yes no the entire season?
Yeah, we're making it a little bit harder to make it interesting.
I see. We're increasing the challenge rating of this podcast. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's close. Like, I'm being genuine. I might say no because I really kind of hated A Mathematically Perfect Redemption. But, like, so just genuinely, if I had to say, would I repeat this? Like, would I, in an alternate timeline, would I give this unto an alternate timeline Jim, this hour of watching? I would say no. But I have to imagine the rest of the episode is not as, or the rest of the season is not as bad. So if you actually want instructions on the show as a whole, or like the season as a whole, I would probably say it's still good.
Yeah, A Mathematically Perfect Redemption is a pretty tough watch.
Yeah.
It does sort of pay off, but it is just like all there for like a punchline.
Which, like, in a strange way, I actually kind of say I want to respect, but I mostly respect it in a sense of, like, I can't believe you got away with this.
Now, this does lead us to content warnings, since we're sort of recommending you watch, and we have content warnings of violence.
So you're passing it on to me to say the second one. Okay, yeah, the second content warning is weird robot/bird sex.
And we thought about this, and we think this is a good way to convey the content warning.
We thought about just saying sexual content or sex, which first of all would make us sound like fucking nerds. But second of all,
it before.
Yeah, but like also, that was kind of a different context. The point kind of being that, like, I think a lot of people I know would be completely okay with general sexual content and would be less okay with a specific kind of sexual content portrayed in that episode.
It's quite cheesy.
I didn't enjoy it.
It's bracing.
It's I think you need to brace to get through it.
Yeah.
But with that out of the way, shall we move on?
Yeah, quick episode summaries. Hear all, trust nothing. What's going on with that? We arrive at Deep Space Nine, inadvertently. There is a we have 3 plots, basically. There's a trade negotiation, so that's,
the main captain and her, inner circle.
She's not called Mariner, she's
Freedman.
Captain
Freeman.
She and sort of the bridge crew have one plot. The second plot is Tendi and Rutherford doing like grunt work and then getting stuck on an escaping ship.
And hanging out with a friendly Orion.
It's mainly Orion-based, really. It's a lot of Orion-based content.
I think Rutherford is mostly there to be sort of like cheering on, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it.
Like it. Yeah. Sorry, I have like thoughts about like the Tendi Rutherford relationship.
We'll get there.
But we can get there later, yeah. And Mariner has a plot that's just her hanging out with her girlfriend for real at this time in the series.
Yeah.
Jennifer,
Yes.
who is dragging her to her like group of girlfriends slumber party.
Yeah.
And not like in a poly way, like in a like sorority way.
Yeah. You could have shortened that description by just saying women be shopping.
I don't know if that's fully accurate.
I think it's mostly
Women do
accurate.
other things as well.
I'm not sure about that. Also, Boimler gets to gamble in the background,
Yeah.
but I don't think that counts as a plot.
Yeah, he gets to do like an idiot let it ride. Which I think has been like a popular meme recently, which is bad because gambling is bad and corroding the soul of America.
Hey, it worked out for meme stocks.
It sure didn't. The second episode is in fact a single character plot arc. Uh, I forget where Peanut Hamper comes from.
She's a robot, to be clear.
Yeah. And she was in a previous episode, and she like abandoned everyone and fucked off.
It specifically like, well, they were like, we need someone to do a heroic sacrifice, but only you can do it, and she goes, no, which I think is actually sick.
Yeah, that's honestly fairly respectable. And
she gets left behind after
yeah,
like a ship explosion, kind of.
She ends up on a bird planet.
Yeah.
And like basically like it's I think what sort of drags this episode down is that it like takes its time, unfortunately, which like is something that I think generally we try to approve of.
Yeah, and yet it feels strangely fast too.
Yeah,
because like they're clearly doing a Pocahontas / Avatar, right? Whereas like here's the alien, in this case alien robot, and she's bringing valuable knowledge and also replicators to this.
Yeah, it's mostly like just that she's a robot that's built good.
Yeah,
like she doesn't convey anything to the people. She's just like, oh yeah, no, I could create medicine out of thin air.
Yeah, and we get the arc of like first it's only the chief who trusts her, and then like the chief's son is like, wow, you cured my dad from an attack.
And what's the defining trait of the chief's son?
He's an extremely ripped bird.
Yeah, he's an extremely ripped bird, man. I think they have like hands and wings.
See the
like proper bird man.
You know,
stuff.
the real sad part here is that like if this episode was better, we could have such intense like himbo appreciation. We get to learn a lot about this dude, and he seems nice. But yeah, she basically goes on a tour fixing a bunch of problems, and over time does the like, yes, I've come to learn your ways, and I've changed as a person because she's evil to start with.
Yeah, like not like evil, like she's a bitch. Like,
yeah,
that is like.
But like, I think she's evil. It's just that her bitchiness is more upfront.
Yeah, no, like she is evil by way of being a bitch. Like she's that is her like
delivery mechanism.
Flavor.
There isn't well, I was gonna say there's no evil laughter, but I suppose that is what the episode ends on. But you know, that's not her way. And then of course, during this period, she and Ripped Birdman develops a relationship, the exact specifics of which I will not go into. And
they have weird robot bird sex.
No,
we gave the content warning. This is what the
I don't want to dwell on it.
Is for. It's quite uncomfortable because it's like quite cringe.
Yeah,
it's cringily done. It's like they're like, yeah, you know, we'll do like the romantic tropes, and we'll play them straight.
Yeah.
And it's like it's fairly brutal to watch because like they do not flinch.
It's remarkable. I feel like I have low standards in general for those sorts of scenes after a teenagedom of reading fan fiction, and that still very much got below those standards, and it hurt.
I don't know. I think you might have been sensitized, if anything.
Maybe.
Like maybe. I think it could go either way.
That's a whole other podcast to go
and through. There is it turns out that the bird people are actually not low technology because there's like a primitive civilization that just recently started like hanging out in huts. It's that they were like spacefaring and were like, this isn't working out.
Yeah.
We'll put these in the ground and go back to being hut people.
And that leads us to the robot bird wedding, where some scavengers show up and they're like, hey, sick tech, we'll take it. And this triggers a series of events where Peanut Hamper ends up sending a distress signal to Starfleet, which she didn't want to do because
she didn't want to get court-martialed for abandoning everyone in a spot of massive trouble.
And
And
we have a section where she's like, I'm gonna save everyone
yeah,
if you
she
can.
saves the day. And then the scavengers like find the ship and are like, this ship works, we're gonna like fuck everyone up. At which point Peanut Hamper's whole plan comes apart, and she's like, "Shit, fuck! I was trying to like get back into Starfleet because I didn't want to hang out on a bird planet."
Yeah, she straight up it's revealed that she had from the start like planned her own redemption arc, and being like, oh, I will do a Pocahontas intentionally.
Yeah, and then uh, there's a very strong moment in this episode, when the bird boyfriend like shows up, like when like a far larger ship
Oh
than the
yeah.
one the scavengers grabbed like rises from like the hangar, and Tendy is like, oh, peanut hamper. And it immediately cuts to Birdman.
Yeah,
um
it's good.
and then he like blasts the scavengers, and that's the episode.
Yeah, and Peanut Amber is fucking
Yeah,
yoked.
sent to robot jail.
It's good. Well, I mean, not as a whole, but the last 3 minutes are pretty okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and those are the episodes. I No, we have an interesting case here where we have an episode that I think has genuinely like is trying to say something.
Ah,
Uh, in the mathematically perfect redemption.
fascinating. Please go on.
I think it is just like I think it is like it's not super deep, but it is just straightforwardly like sort of a meditation on like, hey, some people like suck ass, and like going like, oh, they'll come around any second now, is setting yourself up for being blasted by scavengers.
I do have a friend who is very keen on like whenever shows are willing to say like, hey, some people like it's not that they don't deserve redemption as such, but like they are not taking it, like, and we need to like stop offering the same thing over and over.
Yeah,
And I guess that is part of what this is doing. Um, Now I don't know how to apply that in a broader sense, given that it's a robot called Peanut Hamper, and it feels somewhat. If this was a scientific study, I would have issues about generalizability.
yeah, and she does get a redemption in a later episode.
That's
So
kind of the interesting thing, right? Because like we have seen this one before. She was in is it? It's not Aval. It's one of the season 4 episodes, right?
yeah,
It's the one
is
where
it Badgie one?
that might be right. Yeah, that sounds right. Either way, so she clearly has it in her. She just didn't do it this time. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it's I guess without the rehabilitation technology of Starfleet, it can't be done.
it does seem so. I don't know the full backstory between behind Peanut Hamper before she shows up in this episode, but truly it's a strong argument for rehabilitative justice and the fact that you need to commit to long-term planning to do it. Wow,
Yeah,
beautiful. Star Trek Lower Decks nailing it yet again.
yeah, no, like it is quite interesting, right? That it's like, yeah, no, like here's the like grand gesture like approach to like
Yeah.
redemption, and here's the like, was like just like made to act normal for a bit, and I was like, I can act normal.
It is also like, I mean, in the sort of like, because I think fundamentally what this episode is written as is here's like a section of tropes we see, right?
Mm,
Like it is the Pocahontas story, right? And we're just gonna lampoon them with one big strike at the end, and
yeah,
also kind of in the middle because it's a robot and a bird falling in love.
yeah,
But it's an interesting contrast because like in that drive by in the big lampoon spear they drive through the entirety of that plot, it is also like having a bit of a dunk on the idea of like love makes you good, right? As much as it is love, given that it kind of seems one-sided in that sense.
yeah.
I don't
It's
think she
quite unclear like what her sincerity about that part is supposed to be.
she didn't seem super attached in the long run, let's say.
Yeah, no, but she did seem like to be enjoying the fling, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, her main complaint was that her bird boyfriend cried after they do it, as I believe it. It's
Yeah,
a fairly literal quotation here. Um, so, there's that. I don't know, like, it's also the other thing I think the episode does touch on to some extent, though it's not as much as focus, is like the idea of technology, right? Like this is where it's actually being a sci-fi episode for a little bit
Mm.
about like, because I wanna ask you one thing. There is, after the scavengers are defeated, there's a final speech by Ripped Birdman where he goes like, "We shall no longer be dominated by fear," and I'm unclear on what that means. Like, are they going to go back to technology, or are they being like, no, we're fully rejecting technology?
That's a great question, Jim.
Because it must be about that, right? Because that's the central
I
thing.
don't know. I don't
That
know.
is the central thing
It's
about this
very
tribal
unclear.
society.
It's very unclear.
And they've just, like, on one hand, they've just had trouble brought down upon them.
I don't think you've missed anything, is the thing that I'm trying to convey. Like, I think this is just like, I think this is, it feels like a placeholder that, like, didn't get filled in.
I guess, like, I feel like I need to go somewhere with this, because right now this feels like, well, we sure learned something today, boys. Cut to black.
And it's that blank.
The cure for cancer is no, like, I just, because it must be, that's the story of the society, is that like we had technology, we put it away. Oh, now that you're here, it shows us that technology can do cool things like curing snake bites. But oh no, it has brought us into the attention of these scavengers. Except it's specifically you, not technology broadly, and we're using technology to defend ourselves again, to preserve our way of life.
I mean, we were bitching about how in season 5 they always like, or like, anyway, here's these plots sort of like in the denouement, like running into each other. And this is like, this is the plots actually like running at each other and them just like chickening out and going like, yeah, they're no longer going to be ruled by fear. You work out what that means. Right? Like it is like genuinely two decently cogent plots, one about redemption and one about other stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're like one about like technology and like, is technology good? And then they're like, gotta finish one of these. Yeah, no, like I think it genuinely just like swerves and just like doesn't like finish that plot actually. I think that might be part of like why it doesn't like land all the way.
I will say I don't think that's a huge part of it, but like it doesn't help.
No.
It is remarkable because clearly like there are, listen, there are pieces of media that go like, hey, like we're gonna talk about a thing and then we will like have a final scene that doesn't offer that,
Mm.
conclusion on which one will be picked. But that's not really what's happening here, right? The language of cinema suggests that they've picked something and that we should be aware of it. But like I don't have a conclusion here.
Like,
They don't do anything. There's like, okay,
well, working through it a little bit, right?
uh,
Like, you can read it like that as that being the conflict of the society,
right.
but I don't think that's necessarily a given because
Mm.
like the society never is like, should we go back to technology, right? Like that's like sort of like implied, but it's never like a discussion they actually have.
The only thing is that Ripped Birdman does go like, oh, okay, he's doing it after the robot arrives, so it's unclear, but he
Yeah.
does say like, oh, we used to have all the technology and we got rid of it, and I think that's wrong. And it's not clear if that's like a more long-running thing, or if that's something that he was like, yo, someone showed up to cure my dad. That's pretty sick. I think I'd like some more of that.
Yeah.
But no, like, I think that's interesting, because, like, if you wanted to do this, it's not that hard to be like, during that scene, either someone, like, picks up, like, a piece of the starship and tosses it overboard, or, goes like, yeah, let's use this. Like, it would be very quick to visually signal.
And yet,
I must
yeah.
draw the in-universe conclusion that all the guys at this rally cheering also are like, I'm unclear where we're going with this. I'm just happy to be involved.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, this guy flew the big ship. He might smite me.
It's the a strange comparison perhaps, but it's the Forrest Gump concept of like, I was just there at a historical event and I don't really have opinions about it.
I haven't super worked out what happened.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know what more to say about it. Because I did go into it feeling like, hey, wait a second.
Yep. No, I think that's very accurate. I didn't actually catch the part where Birdman goes like, "Yeah, I know we should use technology." I didn't parse that as his being his position.
Well, I think it is like fully unclear about whether he's using that as an example, like he's using a robot girlfriend as an example of cool technology, or if and like he's always thought this, or he now has
Hmm.
seen a cool robot girlfriend and he's like, we should have more of these.
Well, um, good luck figuring that out, Bird Society. So, about the first episode of these two.
About the first episode, it seems to be a bit better. So there's stuff going on here. It's quite a dense episode, just
It's
in
a
terms.
lot of moving pieces and a lot
Yeah,
of references to on top.
a part of me was being like, okay, so let's run through because I have not seen Deep Space Nine.
No.
Apart from the lesbian episode you showed me, of course. Apart from that, like I only really know Quark.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, I'm gonna try to parse which of these are actual characters from Deep Space
All
Nine.
right.
And I think the red-haired lady who fights with Big Dude.
Yeah, that's Kira Nerys.
Okay, that's correct. That's what Sleep says.
Yep.
Okay,
She is a major character.
I don't know if there's a single other one.
Um, so the aliens, I think, like, might show up once, but
Okay,
I honestly have forgotten, but I think so.
but yeah. So central, like I think, like the interesting thing about this episode is just that like there's I guess one area you could say they like kind of collide, but mostly these are separate. Well, I guess two, three maybe. But they're like broadly each of these plots are quite straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the main sort of like diplomatic negotiation, something something trade. You have these like fairly warlike aliens, like sort of like sinister-esque dudes who are like,
Yeah.
we'll do diplomacy, but if we have to, we'll nuke people with our EMP grenade or whatever it was. I don't really know what it was
Yeah.
supposed to be. I,
Yeah, no, it like I'm gonna be real. This episode, like, it's fun, but it doesn't really come together. Right? Like,
no.
there's the aliens that are like, yeah, no, we're like doing a negotiation, and then like when we see like someone who is like, to be clear, like the Ferengi are not part of the Federation,
Right,
I
yeah.
believe. Like I think like sometime in the canon they join, but like Quark would not be like doing a financial establishment if he were if he were like part of it, not of the Federation. That's not what the Federation does. They don't have money,
Right,
as
fair.
is a punchline in the episode. Um, so like the aliens go like, "Oh, someone who isn't in the Federation has stolen our tech. We're going to like disable your entire space station and kidnap him without explaining ourselves whatsoever."
Yeah.
Like that's just complete nonsense behavior to drive the plot forward.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's pretty much that's the plot. That's
yeah.
the main big plot.
And then Rutherford and Tindy stop them and they like tracked her in the
Yeah, so
ship.
the quick one on that front is just that like they meet this other Orion, and Tindy's a nice Orion.
Yeah.
She's one of the good ones, and
She's like a little bit sheepish,
yeah,
generally
very
speaking.
concerned with not being a pirate. And
Yeah.
then they meet uh, a person whose name I don't remember, but I'm gonna call Space Jim until future future notice, who's really into being a pirate, and it's like I love being a pirate, and because you're of my race, you're probably also a pirate. And she's like,
Yeah.
well, listen,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
she is extremely uncomfortable and this is just like a running bit for a while. Um
And then they are
and
part of like as these guys are kidnapping Quark, and he's like, "I'm not actually a pirate. I suck. I
yeah.
come from Ohio. That's not a joke. I'm like that is a joke, but we're not the ones making that
Yeah.
joke. That's the episode."
Yeah, I'm from Cincinnati. A place with insane dishes,
I mean, like,
famously.
well, yeah, I mean the Midwest, right? It's where like our peoples ended up settling, roughly, right? Like you can understand why they have
I
bad
don't know.
cuisine. There's a huge like Scandinavian population up in like
It's the
Minnesota.
Pennsylvania Dutch as well.
That's true. Which are, if I
But
remember,
that's not quite Midwest.
no, that's kind of East Coast, and also those are Germans, you know.
Yeah, that's why I said RP. You
Okay,
said
I
RP.
figured I just wanted to make sure because I think it's a fun historical detail. Anyway, And at that point, of course, Tendi is like, well, I guess we have to hijack the ship, so I'm gonna be insanely cool while
Yeah.
hijacking the ship.
And this is like an insanely season 3 behavior.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh yeah, no, like our characters, we've done a fair amount with them. What if one of them actually was like a sick badass pirate all along? What if
I
someone had like a character trait we had never like done before, but actually she's the mistress of the winter constellations, and that's going to be like her main deal going forward.
I
Like that's so fucking season 3.
Yeah, that is where like we've done the pilot season, we've done like our first follow up, and then it's like, well, now we're kind of out in open waters, and we're gonna just start doing shit. Well, you know what? It fucking works, okay? Like I'm
Yeah.
completely okay with that scene. And that I guess resolves that plot.
Yeah, and Mariner has like her completely isolated plot, which is just her being uncomfortable at the slumber party, and then they get locked in, and her girlfriend like, no, you're being too sheepish, babe.
I want you to
You should.
bully the Instagram girlies.
Yeah, I want you to bully my friends, and then she zaps all of them with a phaser.
I will say, incredible fucking like turn of the heel, because I was like, okay, like yeah, that makes sense. This is like the part where it's like, oh, I'm gonna change myself, and it's like, no, babe, you should be yourself. And I thought that meant so. To be clear, like let's establish the material conditions here. They are in like a small room with a bunch of candles eating up the oxygen that is no longer being supplied. So
And there's special candles that use an extra large amount of oxygen.
I thought that was fascinating because it's like, I don't think you need to add that detail. It's like 10, 15 people in a room with a bunch of candles and they're all hyperventilating.
Oh no, it's 5 people.
It felt like more.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. But the point being, they're all hyperventilating and they have like genuinely like dozens of candles. Like I don't think you need it to be like, and also the oxygen per candle is twice as much as usual.
Which
But
is
sure.
specified.
Yeah. Like this is very clear. And I'm just like, okay, fair. Like it doesn't it's not a negative.
Yeah.
But it is strange it needed to be there, I guess. So obviously, like when she gets to talking to, she's like, I guess I should be more assertive. And you go like, she's gonna blow out the candles, and she starts blasting people.
Well, it's like she's gonna take charge of the situation,
Yeah.
and then she does so by blasting people. Yeah, no, this is a very odd. Like, I think what this episode actually is just like, hold on, what's the third? Oh yeah, no, the Friedman plot is just a negotiation. It's not that good.
It doesn't feel as
Like
character driven.
Yeah, no,
Right.
it's just like something to structure the episode around, and everything else is just like them like setting up like the best bits they can come up with. Right? This is like
It's a very punchline season, isn't
yeah,
it?
no, it's a very like comedy forward episode.
It's also like, I think if you're gonna try to tie these together, it's all about sort of like letting the characters be themselves, like elevated in a sense. Boimler, of course, gets his tiny thing where he's just like fucking nailing it at gambling and then trades it all away for a gift card. Which like I don't know Boimler well enough, but like he just seems happy to be there, and I guess that's
that's very Boimler.
it's just the elevation of his
He
character.
gets like a funny purse.
It's a clutch.
Honestly, like I'm surprised there isn't more Ransom.
A ransom?
The vice captain.
Oh, Jockman?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
they usually like write a lot of bits for him.
He did have a good starting bit where they're like, "Oh, buy me some time before like we connect and start doing diplomacy." And he's like, "Let's just circle the pillars," and you just have Star Trek majestic music playing and stopping and then playing again. It's really good.
Yeah. But that's the only like strong Ransom line this episode. But yeah, no, like I don't think it comes together like as a like coherent story, but they do just like set themselves up for like a lot of good bits. And like a little bit of nostalgia for the Deep Space Nine hits, which like Deep Space Nine is like where my heart is in Star Trek, I think.
Right. It is kind of interesting, right? Like because it does literally this is one of the most technically connected episodes, right? Like because
except for Mariner.
well, no, even that. Like, this is in response to the EMP bomb, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's the strongest connection, but like we've had episodes that are
Yeah,
just like there are two plots and they
yeah,
will not intersect or be
yeah.
thematically connected. They are just two plots.
Yeah, no, like it is straight like Tindy and Rutherford's plot. Like they're sort of like just meandering until like they crash into the main plot and then they're like, "Oh fuck, it's go time?"
Yeah.
I guess it's go time.
And it's essentially like a bigger version of what
Yeah.
happens to Mariner, right? Like it's like, oh,
Yeah.
like now the plot has come to us, so we must react.
Like I guess like this episode, as little a message as it does, like the message it does have is like sometimes you just go sicko mode. Sometimes you just
Honestly,
start blasting.
you know, that's a good point there. Yeah, I guess it's an anti-sheepish episode. It's like, don't you know? Sometimes, sometimes you gotta start calling your girlfriend's friends some very mean things and
Yeah,
maybe
blast
punch
them.
them.
Knock him out.
It's very instructive, and we should all take this with us into
Oh
our
yeah,
own lives.
the reason she starts blasting nominally is because unconscious people use less oxygen, and the last piece of that plot is her and Jessica kissing and being like, "Well, it would be weird if we were found awake, blasting each other while kissing."
Truly a modern Romeo and Juliet. It's all, it really comes around in this beautiful sense.
Yeah.
It is like I sometimes think about this as far as like media is concerned. Um, this sort of like attitude to like let's just do good things
Yeah.
in whatever like media we're doing. Like let's just do stuff that's like engaging in the way that our genre is supposed to be engaging, and just kind of like be like, I don't really give a shit about tying it together.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think like what does make this episode like in the end like just like a strong comedy episode is that they lean like on like types of guy, I like the hippie girlies and
Yeah.
like the like guy from Ohio who's talking tough shit.
Yeah, the guy from like fucking LA who wears a cowboy hat, you know? Because he has like his fucking grandfather was like a corn farmer.
And all of those people are intrinsically funny.
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
see them and we're like, ah, yeah, I know who that person is. Because I've seen TV before.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't
Same
know
thing I guess
any
with
like hippie.
Boimler in
Yeah.
The Idiot Gambler, right?
Yeah. I don't know any like hippie girlies.
No, you know one. Mostly for me. Not to this extent, to be clear,
I guess.
but you know, there's some astrology going on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you know, mostly not my world.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's fair. But no, like I think it's generally like a very interesting approach to just doing media, right? Like and if I'm going to like deeply embarrass myself, this is kind of Ruby to me, where they're like, I don't give a shit about making things make sense. We're just gonna have cool fight scenes and call it a day.
It's a ruby to you?
Yeah. Oh, are you sufficiently innocent that you do not know about web animation Ruby?
This oh, like with a W?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like just like vaguely familiar. I don't think I've seen
Point
any.
being, that's an example of that not working out. But I think honestly, for lack of commitment, this one committed. You know,
Yeah.
I'm actually in a strange way impressed that they managed to do both comedy and so much like homaging at the same
Hmm.
time. Like I didn't get the in jokes realistically, but like there's the point where Kyrene, what's her name?
Uh,
That the lady with the nose ridges.
I'm blanking.
Okay, fair enough. One of the characters from Deep Space Nine, like having this like just completely unexplainable fight with her friend, where it's like, I owe you one, no, I owe you one, and it just happens, and there's nothing more to it, and you go like, okay, that's pretty funny,
Yeah, no, like
and that's all it needs to be.
I think there is like a fair amount of gender going on in this episode.
Okay, fascinating.
Um,
I told you, women be shopping.
well, sort of, right? We have the hippie girlies.
Yeah.
Then we have like and then we have two like bits where like machismo is like sort of the butt of the joke, right? With the with our Ohio farm boy, and also with Shax and his like one-upmanship.
Well, they're both one-upping each other's actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which sort of complicates the gender a bit, but like that is still machismo, right? The joke is machismo.
Gender non-conforming out of the basis of just being really competitive.
Yeah.
Beautiful. No, I think like I will admit there was a part of me that was a little annoyed at the hippie girly stuff because I was like, this could be it. Charlie Brooker could have written this.
Vicious.
But like the reality is these people do exist,
Yeah.
and like fair enough. I have to give it to them on some level there. And now, did this strike me as something written immediately after one of the writers had met an annoying friend of a partner? Yes. But like, that's fine. That can create good content. That can
Yeah.
create good media.
Yeah. I think that's all I have to say on these.
It's interesting because like I felt like I'm trying to grab onto this because I think like
Mm.
Strange New Worlds always had like something it was going for in the sort of higher end
Yeah.
meaning sense, and I feel like there was truth to that in like I don't know, wasn't that more of a case in like season 5
I'm not
of
sure.
Lower Decks, or am I just like inventing things backward?
I think it has been like Lower Decks has been much lower in that stuff
Yeah,
generally.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I do, at least it doesn't have fucking What is Starfleet. So we all have to counter blessings on that one.
It's a low bar to clear, but it is also just very funny.
Yeah, it's good. I am pro Lower Decks so far.
Yeah. They did have like just like sort of the way it was. Like they did like throw in like a lot of like tiny homages. Like Quarks has like Morn, who is just a permanent bar customer, and they just like threw in like a brief shot of Morn. There's the spiral staircase is like bizarrely present in Deep Space Nine because it's just
Really?
like, yeah, I mean it's just like one of the sets they have, I guess.
I guess. Huh.
So like that is like weirdly recognizable.
Well, I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
finding Deep Space Nine then. A couple of shows down the road. I will say, like, genuine credit there. I have watched, like, for my own, interests, I have watched, like, these sorts of, like, fan servicey things. And, like, there is a way to write this where you, like, make a reference and then stop the episode to be like, and you may now laugh. And I think this approach of just being like, hey, like, here's a background detail. If you're a fan of the show, you'll see it and be like, oh, that's neat. And if you're not, completely unobtrusive. So
Yeah,
I do think this is the better way of doing things.
this.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like, I was a bit worried about Lower Decks. Not because I thought it was gonna be bad, but because I thought it was gonna be impenetrable for me.
Yeah, no,
Or at least that I would have lost a lot of value in that.
I mean, I do reckon like there's a fair amount of jokes that are like Star Trek themed.
Yeah,
Like one of the hippie girlies has like, ah yes, here's my interpretive dance. That's based on the Kobayashi Maru.
I did recognize that name. I could not place it. Like, I know it's a ship, I think.
It's a whole thing.
Okay.
Like a whole thing.
Wait, isn't it like the training simulation?
Yeah.
Ah, I got it.
It's split into the culture.
It's starting to creep in, yeah.
I think it's more than starting. I think it's tapering off anything.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, no, we have an interesting thing going on here, right? That like the episode that is trying to do a bit more is just like a lot worse. But I don't think that's super up to it trying to do a lot more. I think
we were fucking bathed by our ankles in Black Mirror, like I think we know that happening.
Yeah.
And like I don't necessarily think you should take out of that to not aim high. But I do think you should take a realistic account of what you can and can't do in 25 minutes.
How annoying your characters are.
Also that. I mean, like, I was thinking about this genuinely, like a small point I was gonna make on the here all trust nothing.
Something like that.
That episode, like the one with Deep Space Nine references, I thought about this like, hey, like this is another thing where they're introducing a new annoying character, but guess what? He's supposed to be annoying, so it fucking works as opposed to Sue's girl from season 5, Lightning Lady.
Interesting.
You know, I think there is something genuinely to that. Now, you can go overboard. I think Ohio Man was straddling that line at times, but I think largely he was within the limits.
Yeah, I mean, that one is also just, like, winding this guy up for one big punchline.
Yeah.
Like, this is something they, like, do quite frequently.
I think there's a genuine lesson here where if you're gonna do an annoying character plotline, if it ends in, like, and now everyone loves her, you go, like, no. No.
Yeah.
That's not emotionally resonant. If you go, look at this idiot, yeah, no, that checks out.
So real.
It's, you know, I think it's very basic writing advice, but I think it holds up.
Yeah, people are petty readers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah.
And with that beautiful note of the attitude of our podcast, steeped in resentment and spite.
We are very petty readers.
Of course. I think that's one of the most clear traits we have. Even in our attempts at, like, being nice sometimes and not immediately going, oh, fuck this, to everything. We try.
Yeah.
We got through 7 seasons of Black Mirror. We can extend some basic courtesy.
Yeah, we have grace in us, just like a medium amount, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, spoilers, but, like, we said Black Mirror, so we're all good.
Yeah.
Or at least we recommended to watch it.
Yeah. God, I forgot that, actually.
I know.
If you asked me, I was like, I don't fucking know.
Anyway, we shall return with hopefully minimum levels of spite and resentment in season 2 of Lower Decks next week.
Thank you for listening, and
see you on the other side.